Garth, we're at Greenbelt.
Yes,
When was the first time you came to Greenbelt?
the first Greenbelt.
You were
50
here?
years ago.
You're not old enough.
I know, it looks that way, but in reality I was there, and
What was it like?
It was, nobody quite knew what it was, and so there was quite a good crowd, but I mean it was defining itself.
So it was music? Did you sing?
Yeah. I sang. I brought a guy called Steve Turner with me, who's a poet, so we interspersed him. And yeah, there were quite a lot of bands, and I'm not sure if there were seminars actually.
Did they deal with any social justice
I
issues?
don't think so, not particularly at that first one.
It was music,
Music
culture,
was there. Yeah.
but it was radical, presumably.
It was a festival looking to see what it would be. I think you couldn't quite say. There was an influence of an American musical, and the Dear Gloria Trust, who was supporting the festival, very much were pushing this Lonesome, it's called Lonesome something, a musical, and they were wanting to be part of it.
When did Palestine come on the scene? Did you influence Greenbelt, or did Greenbelt influence you?
I think it was me, I'm not very good with dates, but I think the first thing we had was Rabbi Jeremy Milgrom, and I thought that would be quite a good way to start.
And Jeremy was working with
I don't know.
Rabbis for Human Rights?
Oh yes, he was. Yes, that's right. Rabbis for Human Rights. Yeah.
So you had a Jewish rabbi speaking at Greenbelt, and that was obviously quite radical.
It was, and we then gradually had other speakers. We had Palestinian speakers.
Naima Teek, I think.
Naima Teek came, yes, and Bishop Rhea.
Yes.
And Jeff Halper. I can't remember at what stage he came, but he was someone he had been really helpful to us with our Amos groups, because I remember saying to the dean of Jerusalem,
Peter Crooks,
that I needed someone to help me tell the story to our groups.
Yes.
And I said I need a Jewish voice.
Yes.
And he introduced me to Jeff Halper.
Yeah.
And of course that was.
So how has ICAHD helped influence your understanding of both the challenges in Palestine, but also the solutions?
I think the good thing about ICAHD has been the constant way in which Jeff has put forward proposals for the future and for changes, but also he's been outlining what's going on, what's actually happening.
Walking his talk as well.
Exactly. He's stuck in front of a bulldozer somewhere, and all of this had a very big impact. I then tried to get every group to hear him, because he was saying things that we needed to hear and we needed to understand. We had a lot of questions.
And now the burning issue is apartheid.
Yeah.
It's being talked about more and more.
Yes. Yeah. I think the other day I've written a song on apartheid called Standing Against Apartheid, and it's taking the words of some clergy who were in Sheikh Jarrah in Jerusalem standing against ethnic cleansing. And they had a little thing, I can't remember all of it, but it goes, we're standing against apartheid, we're standing against colonial settlements, we're standing for justice, and I took their words and turned them into a song.
And you're singing it tomorrow at Greenbelt.
Yes.
And it's available online.
It's available online. It's not on a record yet, but it is online.
On YouTube. Bootlegged?
Let's say it's on YouTube.
So are you hopeful for the future in Palestine?
Well, I'm very hopeful. There's a high level of commitment here at the Greenbelt Festival to what we're saying about Palestine, and I think there over the years has been a steady influence And it's, when you look at the horror of what's been happening this year and what's happening every day, and the number of Palestinians and Palestinian young people who are being killed, I think people say that's enough. And the other day, online with the song "Standing Against Apartheid," someone sort of said something affirming to me, and then someone said, I saw you years ago, you were talking about apartheid then, why don't you get something else to talk about? And I thought, I was talking about South Africa.
And you see the parallels?
I can see the parallels, and I think that also we have to have the campaigns in the same way we do in South Africa. We have to have the churches getting more involved, you know, like the Archbishop and people. We need to hear them speak the truth.
Yes.
And then maybe we can start shifting some things which will be to the benefit of all.
They're not talking about it yet.
No, they're not talking about it yet, and that was fairly true of South Africa, though because of Archbishop Tutu, the churches started to come on board more.
Yeah.
And he was, before he died, he was saying exactly the same things about the apartheid situation in Palestine.
And your other really encouraging song for me is "My Name is Palestine."
Yes.
That's out, available?
That's available on an album called "My Name is Palestine," and it's also on YouTube. And that one was sparked off by a painting in the Waldorf Hotel, Banksy's hotel in Bethlehem. And it was a stunning picture, Suleiman Mansour painted. And there's a woman in the desert with her back to us, and she's holding the Palestine flag. And I thought, what is your name? Who are you? And I started to write it, and then of course, by the second verse, she's saying, "My name is Palestine."
That's fantastic.
And when I launched it in Bethlehem, Suleiman Mansour came. It was wonderful to see. He was a great guy. And I said, "Is my song reflecting what you were trying to say, or is it different?" He said, "No, we're on very much the same wavelength," which was great.
Garth, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Bless
Thank you.